Good evening, Freeman families. In just a moment, commencement exercises for the class of 2020 will begin. We come together at an extraordinary moment in our school and nation's history to honor an extraordinary group of students. While we may not be together at the Siegel Center as in years past, our program, as always, will be one of tradition, respect, and dignity. This is the point in the ceremony where I ask the audience to silence cell phones and to hold your applause when your student's name is called so we can hear all names clearly. This year, when you hear your graduate's name, there's no need to hold your applause. Shout, cheer, and show them just how proud you are of their achievement. Ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are, please stand for the national anthem performed by the Douglas Freeman Festival Choir, followed by Davis Buckby with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Will Dornick, President of the Class of 2020. We welcome you to the 64th Commencement Exercises of Douglas South Hall Freeman High School. I think I can say for all of us, it has been 4 years full of challenges and adventures, but in the end, we are sitting here ready to move on to the next chapter in our lives. I'm privileged to be here to welcome our faculty, family, friends, and distinguished guests on behalf of the Class of 2020. I would like to take a moment to recognize a few individuals who have been integral in putting together tonight's ceremony. Class Vice President, Davis Buckby, Class Secretary, Gretchen Neary, Class Treasurer, Nicholas Cavallo, Class Historian, Will Coker, Class SCA Representative, Salar Khan, representing the Henrico County School Board, Tuckahoe District, Miss Marcy Shea, Henrico County Board of Supervisors, representing the Tuckahoe District, Miss Patricia O'Bannon, Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Amy Cashwell, Principal, Mr. John Marshall, Senior Class Administrator, Mr. Rick Butler, Science Department Co-Chair, Mr. Patrick Foltz, Director of the Center for Leadership, Government, and Global Economics, Mr. Robert Peck, School Counseling Director, Ms. Renee Farrell, School Counselor, Ms. Janet Smith, and the student speakers, Daniel Bazianos and Gretchen Neary. At this time, we will have remarks from our principal, Mr. John Marshall.
Welcome to the 64th Douglas South Hall Freeman High School commencement ceremony. It is my honor to welcome the family and friends of the Class of 2020 to this long-awaited celebration. In addition to our distinguished guests, I would like to thank our professional colleagues from Henrico County Public Schools leadership, who are viewing and have participated in producing this event. They have provided us with continued guidance and support throughout this year, and it is much appreciated. I would like to recognize the principals from our feeder schools. To all the elementary and middle school principals viewing with us this evening, this momentous occasion would not be possible without the invaluable skills learned as a member of your incredible learning communities. Thank you for your immense role in the journey to this important moment. Douglas Freeman High School is very fortunate to have a tremendous partnership with our community. And I want to take a moment to thank that community for another year of exceptional support that we are so appreciative and proud of. We would like to recognize a special group from among our community, our alumni. Thank you for remaining a part of the Freeman family and for viewing with us today as we welcome another group into your ranks. I want to thank the Freeman families out there for all that they have done to help reach this milestone that we celebrate today. I'd like to ask the class of 2020 to take a moment and hug, high five, or otherwise acknowledge the loved ones for all the unconditional love and support they've offered you. Go ahead, right now, seriously. They deserve it. Parents and guardians, on behalf of our school faculty and staff, thank you for sharing your children with us for these 4 years. They have performed admirably, representing you with pride and demonstrated excellence in countless ways. I know that you are proud, and we thank you for letting us guide and walk alongside these wonderful individuals for this brief time. Lastly, another group among us deserves special recognition for their efforts over the last 4 years. The faculty of Freeman High School. The teachers, administrators, and counselors in our school are committed, thoughtful, brilliant, sometimes demanding, but always passionate and caring. They take to heart their responsibility of preparing the young people of our community for success in a complex world. And they've done just that with the class of 2020. I'm humbled to work alongside such an impressive collection of educators. Students and families, please join me in thanking them for their efforts. 2 individuals from this group, Ms. Snellings and Mr. Abril, volunteered to serve as the class of 2020 class sponsors, shepherding this class through 4 memorable years. Seniors, for their outstanding job of facilitating and guiding your class, I would like to acknowledge and thank your class sponsors, Ms. Snellings and Mr. Abril. Thank you. I would also like to take this opportunity to acknowledge our retiring faculty members, Mrs. Paula Brown, Mrs. Carol Campfield, Mr. Jeff Given, and Dr. Cheryl Sumner. We thank you for your years of service to the Freeman community, and congratulations on your retirement. And now, I'd like to give you a closer look at the class of 2020. There are 421 candidates for graduation at Freeman this June. It is comprised of impressive scholars. 243 members of this group have earned a cumulative GPA of 3.0 or above. The class of 2020 has represented Freeman with excellence outside of our halls. As members of this group, we're a part of several athletic and extracurricular teams that excelled at the highest level. Members of the class of 2020 were part of back-to-back swimming state championships, including individual swimming state champion and a relay state title. The class of 2020 saw a wrestling state champion, We the People state champions, and many other accomplishments, all the result of incredibly hard work, determination, and talent. Additionally, the class of 2020 is home to 3 Lexus Award finalists and a Richmond Times-Dispatch Scholar Athlete Award finalists. They've demonstrated their talents in impressive fashion as musicians, leading our band and orchestra to superior ratings at the state marching assessments in the fall, state orchestra assessments in March, and high placement in the choral competitions for both our show choir performances and concert performances. Even though state assessments for band and chorus were canceled, our band and choral students were on track to receive top ratings. Freeman High School was represented in county, district, regional, and state band, orchestra, and choral events by our outstanding student musicians this year. The class of 2020 also contributed to our community. 178 students completed 20,263 hours of community service. This is the highest ever recorded class total in Freeman's history. Class of 2020, you're an accomplished group, but we know that you're just getting started. It has been our honor to help you prepare for this day. It is now up to you to take the lessons you've learned to your next chapter. The official term for this ceremony is a commencement, which means a beginning. I think that term is specifically appropriate for the class of 2020. We shared a beginning together back in 2016. Yours was the first class of freshmen I met when I arrived at Freeman 4 years ago. I remember how nervous you all were at Rebel Camp. Such a contrast to the confident young adults that I saw in our hallways this spring. This week also marks the end of my first year as your principal, a fact that will etch your class fondly into my memories for the rest of my life. While on the topic of beginnings, I'm reminded of how our year started together. The night before our first day of school this year, when I was doing a final walk through the building, I got word that some seniors had chalked the parking lot and sidewalks as a prank. However, in typical class of 2020 fashion, there was nothing offensive or inappropriate, as I feared there might be. But I did notice some unlucky individuals still in their cars in the parking lot as I began to clean up. You all know who you are. But in typical class of 2020 fashion, rather than speed off or run away, they got out of their cars and offered to help. This is the class of 2020, always willing to help others, as our community service numbers show, and sacrifice for the good of our community, as they have done for the last few months. Like the start of high school and the start of this year, we sit at another moment of commencement, a beginning. For you personally, as you leave us to accomplish great things as learners, leaders, and rebels, and for our country and world as we begin to recover from this tremendously disruptive and tragic spring. Class of 2020, you have continually shown your selfless character in service to others and determination, remaining focused and positive despite challenges and setbacks. As you begin the rest of your journey, don't lose those skills. They will serve you and this world very well. Just as you use your talents and grit to shape our school and community, starting with these new beginnings, I have confidence that you will do the same for the world, starting with this moment of commencement. Congratulations, class of 2020, and thank you for all you've given the Freeman family.
It is now my privilege to introduce Mrs. Shea, Henrico County School Board, followed by Mrs. Pat O'Bannon, Henrico County Board of Supervisors, and Dr. Amy Cashwell, Superintendent, Henrico County Public Schools, to bring greetings.
Class of 2020, on behalf of the Henrico County School Board, I bring you greetings and a heartfelt congratulations. You made it. Today is the culmination of not just 4 years or 13 years of work, but your entire lifetime. From the books that were read to you before you could read them yourselves, to your academic and social cornerstones laid during elementary school, to middle school, where you started to find your own niche, to high school, where your passions blossomed with the help of teachers, family, coaches, and the community you built. Your creativity, innovation, successes, and perseverance. Today, we celebrate it all. Today's celebration looks different than we expected, but it cannot dim your accomplishments. Freeman graduates, you accomplished extraordinary things in and out of the classroom, and I know that doesn't end here. Whatever path your next steps are on, employed, enlisted, or enrolled, life after today will look different, which is true of all graduating classes, but especially for you. Today, we officially celebrate that you are ready, and I, for one, can't wait to see how you change the world. Congratulations, graduates.
Graduates of the class of 2020 of Douglas Freeman High School, I bring you greetings and congratulations from the Henrico County Board of Supervisors. This is it. You've done it. You're graduating. Remember that date in either 2007 or 2008? It was your first day of school. I know there's a picture of you somewhere. You're getting on the yellow school bus, or there's another one where there's a picture of you wearing that special outfit that you wore that first day. Did you know this is where you were going? Were you thinking about this as your goal? Well, it is. This is it. Did you realize then that this was going to be something you would be doing for more than 12 years? But it's very important. That test you took in 4th grade, the history project you did in the 7th grade, that science project in the 11th grade, all that was part of the building blocks you did to build this foundation for your future. Now, certainly, you may not remember your first day of school, but I know you're going to remember your last day of school. It took a worldwide pandemic for Henrico County schools to close. And we know you sacrificed many milestones in those last few months that you were unable to attend your senior year. But people's lives were saved. Thank you.
Good evening to the graduates and families of Douglas S. Freeman High School. I'm Amy Cashwell, Superintendent of Henrico County Public Schools. Graduates, I know you feel as if you've run a long race, and just as the finish line came into sight, the world turned upside down. Sometimes it's been disorienting. Traditions are important, and yours have been interrupted. But please know that you became a very special class of graduates even before the events of this spring. As for the pandemic, you became special not because of what you faced as a class, but because of the maturity you have shown in responding to it. Living in a society means each of us must do hard things to keep our community safe. In doing so, right now, you might feel your senior year was somehow less real. And I get that. But your growth, your accomplishments, and the bonds you've formed with one another are definitely real, and they will last a lifetime. As we've been reminded, life is unpredictable. It's filled with unanticipated detours, heartbreak, and joy. But as you move on to college, the military, or the workforce, I hope you know that you are ready. You're armed with strength and a hard-earned resiliency. I couldn't be prouder. Congratulations to the Douglas S. Freeman High School class of 2020.
At this time, I would like to announce the winners of the faculty medallions. These students were selected by the Freeman faculty for this high honor based on their leadership and service to their class and to our school. These students were acknowledged at the Senior Awards program at the end of May, and we hope they're wearing these medallions today. I'd like to recognize these following students: Daniel Bazianos, Colleen Berry, Molly Bowman, Emily Carter, Salar Khan, David Lim, Lawrence Mensa, Gretchen Neary, Connor Spidell, and Rachel Thornton. At the Senior Awards program held at the end of May, we also announced our Valedictorian and Salutatorian, as well as the top 10 students in this class by cumulative GPA. I'm pleased to recognize these students today. The class of 2020 Valedictorian is Decker Bristow, and Salutatorian Daniel Bazianos. The remaining members of the top 10 announced alphabetically are Sarah Bender, Davis Buckby, Emily Carter, Easton Chucker, Addison Gorenflow, Gretchen Neary, Jacob Renner, and Elizabeth Chavold. Again, congratulations on your impressive academic careers, and thank you for the academic excellence you've displayed.
One of Freeman's many traditions is to select students to speak at graduation. One of the 2 students selected this year is a smart, kind, and humble individual, and it is no surprise that we all wanted to hear from him. It is my honor to introduce our good friend Daniel Bazianos with a speech embracing uncertainty.
Hello, fellow graduates, supportive families, and respected faculty. I'm honored to be delivering this speech. Those who know me well know I love control. So, when I was asked to deliver this speech, I realized I had none. I could be speaking to your younger sibling, your dog, maybe even the wall. But for those tuning in, I would like to congratulate the Douglas Southall Freeman class of 2020. 2020, what a cool year to graduate, or so my freshman self believed. We would leave our predictable past at the start of a new decade, not to mention that DSF 20 looks great on an Instagram bio. 6 months ago, if you explained the entire world soon would freeze to a halt, I think I would have a few predictions as to why. Maybe a vintage Freeman food fight turned apocalyptic. Maybe the unknown student who repeatedly pulled the fire alarm on that fateful Friday went global with his or her antics. But most probable, Mr. Seeger saw one too many phones out during class, morphing into a 350-foot lizard and terrorizing the streets of Tokyo. Nonetheless, our class has exceeded 2020's hype. We endured the lowly social standing of being freshmen. That Halloween, I remember being chased down the art hall by my senior brother and his matador-dressed friends and legitimately fearing for my life. We grew up as sophomores and our courses became more challenging in junior year. Now, as a united class, we plod through the first semester of senior year, and we're looking forward to celebrating the end. These past weeks, I've done a little reading, some schoolwork, and lots of Pokemon Go. Call it a coping mechanism, but the unfortunate truth still stands that right now, the future is out of our control. When I started thinking about what this speech would be about, I realized that in feeling frustrated over senior events being canceled, I was forgetting the good times our class already had. The time that my physics class crowdfunded a Nintendo Switch for Mr. Brewer. Or the time we left school early because of a power outage. But most notably, seeing you all, who I've studied with, competed with, and grown with for countless years, be accepted into colleges, find vocational opportunities, and commit to schools for athletics has been unforgettable. So, yeah, disappointment right now is understandable, but this hardship probably isn't the first disappointment each of us has faced, and it certainly won't be the last. Looking back at our years together, I have gained an appreciation for what made Freeman a special place. I can't imagine a school more memorable than Freeman, an unusual but fitting combination of quirks, great teaching, and unity. I mean, where else is your tennis coach also the team's bus driver and your volleyball coach a full-time EMT? Few schools are such an accurate representation of America's demographics, and even fewer celebrate this diversity in so many ways, such as Senorita Stelling's enthusiasm for Hispanic heritage through OLA. Not everybody loves math, but Mr. Podolny's unmatched fervor was pretty contagious. We grappled with tough questions in courses with Mr. Inman and Mr. Peck. Most importantly, our classes balanced so many roles. As student athletes, as performers, even as avid LCAP fans, with humility and passion. I doubt that our class's blend of success and benevolence is common. So, yes, we are in an unprecedented time that may seem out of control. But our disappointment is accompanied by an appreciation for our years at Freeman. Let's focus on the great memories and friendships we never will forget, not the experiences we never will have. As the race car driver Ricky Bobby once said, at the end of the day, you gotta be happy. Everything ended up fine. Come on, we have NASCAR graduation tomorrow. It would be criminal not to force a Talladega Nights quote. Thank you to all the teachers, administrators, employees, family members, and you, the Freeman class of 2020, for helping me embrace the uncertainty and remember the unforgettable. I wish you nothing but the best in your futures. Thank you again, and go Rebels.
For our second speaker, the senior class has made the wise decision of choosing Gretchen Neary. Gretchen is an amazing advocate, organizer, and leader of the Freeman community. She works tirelessly for our school, from running about half the clubs at Freeman, to being a vital part of our student government for 4 years, to being my online editor-in-chief of The Commentator. I really can't think of anybody better to speak on behalf of the student body. So ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome, reading her speech entitled Freeman Family, our senior class officer and secretary, and my good friend, Gretchen Neary.
Hello, friends, family, and the class of 2020. While this is not the graduation we had originally envisioned, let that not detract from the incredible accomplishment we are celebrating today. As I am sure many of you can relate, I've recently found myself going down a rabbit hole of Netflix movies, Hulu shows, and YouTube videos. The other day, I came across a video that honored Principal Akbar Cook of Westside High School in Newark, New Jersey. Mr. Cook explained his school's philosophy using an acronym for family. He says family stands for, forget about me, I love you. Forget about me, I love you. When I heard this motto, I was instantly reminded of the Freeman family. So much of my high school experience can be summed up by this notion of family. Let's not sugarcoat it. High school is hard. Freshman year can just be summed up as awkward. Is Freshman Friday real? How can I move back in the football stadium stands when there's no room left? Why is everyone booing me at pep rallies? Will I fall over during the CW? Sophomore and junior years can also be complicated. Pressures from school or from home life, stress about an after-school job, SAT and ACT worries, plus personal pressure to do well in school and consider your future. There's a lot of personal growth in these years, along with plenty of stress and tears. It's easy to become wrapped up in the negatives, but we become family as we experience these things together. Sadly, our family has experienced much loss over our 4 years. The summer before high school started for our class, we grieved the loss of Frank Woolwine, a member of the class of 2018. Junior year, we mourned the passing of our classmate, Carter Summers. This year, the senior year we had waited and hoped for, was suddenly and painfully canceled just as we were getting to the best part. Amidst this heartache, the Freeman family continues to be a source of light and positivity. Charles R. Swindoll once wrote, "I'm convinced that life is 10% what happens to me and 90% how I react to it." Our class has reacted to difficult times with grace and altruism. The biggest lesson I will take away from my time at Freeman is the power of selflessness, because I saw the Freeman family at work daily. As a freshman, senior girls passed down spirit wear and football jerseys to me, drove me to school, and invited me into the family. They made me feel like I belonged. I saw the Freeman family in the annex or library in the mornings when students said, "Forget about me and my work, let me help you with yours." And think about the Freeman alumni community who faithfully returns to cheer for the homecoming parade each year. There is something special about Freeman for so many alumni to continue to support our school and even send their children to the same high school they once attended. I saw and continue to see the Freeman family in teachers and administrators who care for us not only as students, but as people. We have teachers like Mr. Abril and Miss Medallions, our amazing class sponsors, who said, "Forget about my weekend, let me brighten your day," and dropped off individual gifts for every member of the senior prom court. Or Senora Carol, who began every day of my Spanish class by saying, "Forget about my lesson plans for a minute," by asking the class how we were and genuinely listening to our responses. I know you all have a teacher or counselor in mind who went out of their way to show you they care for you personally. I saw the Freeman family unite for the common good. Our class has a combined 20,263 community service hours, which is the most recorded by a class at Freeman. Members of our class have completed these hours on their own or through clubs and events at Freeman, like the Little Feet Meet, Rebelettes, and the Rebel Run. I also find it fitting that our school Twitter handle is @DSFLove. We enthusiastically show up at sporting events, theater performances, and concerts to celebrate all members of our family. And just like a real family, we can bicker, but there's always love at the end of the day. So much more unites us than divides us. As we head off to college, the military, trade school, or work, in uncertain times and in an uncertain world, I hope we can hold the most powerful lesson from Freeman close to us. Forget about me, I love you. In high school, it is easy to get caught up in our own lives. Many of my own thoughts consisted of, what do other people think of me? How will this affect me? However, the best way I can describe family, especially the Freeman family, is unconditional, sacrificial love and support. This type of love knocks us off our own pedestals and makes us take a long, hard look at the world around us and what we can do to improve it. Many times, we feel more isolated than connected in our imperfect world. But we have experienced this love firsthand at Freeman. Now let's put it in action as we move into the next phases of our lives. Congratulations, class of 2020, and go Rebels.
Every year, members of the faculty choose one student to honor with the school's highest award. The Douglas Freeman Scholar represents the highest ideals and aspirations of the man for whom our school is named, Douglas Southall Freeman. Dr. Freeman was a scholar of the highest caliber, twice winning the Pulitzer Prize for his multi-volume biographies of George Washington and Robert E. Lee. As editor of the Richmond News Leader, Dr. Freeman set the standard for integrity in journalism. As a frequent commentator on WRVA, Dr. Freeman gave a voice to the concerns of a generation and put into context the most compelling issues of the day. As an educator, Dr. Freeman taught journalism at Columbia, leadership theory at the United States Army War College, and served as the rector of the University of Richmond. Through all these accomplishments, he maintained a deep and abiding commitment to kindness and decency. This year's Douglas Freeman Scholar is an exemplar of leadership, humility, and compassion. Like Dr. Freeman, her scholarship is excellent, world-class in fact, but it is her commitment to making the world around her a better place that stands out. Her unassuming nature, contrasting with her brilliant academic talent, is the result of genuine humility. She then uses her abilities and incredible work ethic to lead. As one faculty member noted, she takes initiative because she is genuinely committed to justice and connecting with others. And she does so with humility and a quiet, driven work ethic. Her impact on Freeman stood out in obvious ways, leading causes and organizations, peer tutoring, inspiring a one-of-a-kind experience that connected the Freeman community to the world, but also in less obvious ways as a leader by example and a compassionate classmate. As one teacher told her as we delivered faculty medallions to her home last week, this world is a better place because you are in it. Next year, she will be taking her many talents to the University of Virginia, where she was selected as a Jefferson Scholar. Please join me in congratulating our 2020 Douglas Southall Freeman Scholar, Emily Carter.
It is now my pleasure to welcome back Mrs. Marcy Shea to speak the words we have waited 4 years to hear.
Candidates for graduation, family and friends, By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Commonwealth of Virginia, the Henrico County School Board, and on the recommendation of the faculty and administration, I declare these candidates of Douglas South Hall Freeman High School graduates with all rights, privileges, and responsibilities appertaining thereto. Graduates, you may turn your tassels.
Mr. Patrick Foltz, Science Department Leader, and Mr. Robert Peck, Director of the Center for Leadership, Government, and Global Economics, will read the names of our graduating seniors. Between them, they have almost 40 years of experience teaching at Freeman. Seniors will receive their diplomas at Freeman High School in an event taking place on June 24th.
Mary Claire Abbott, Sandra Hani Adel Messiah, Amir Magdi Abdu, Mina Malad Faek Abu El Kahel, Catherine Olivia Acree, Faith D. Adams, Kyria Rose Ajemian, Sophia Carr Alkane, Ivan A. Alejo, Razaz Tariq Ali, Saad Ali, Zara Ali, William Wesley Allen Jr., Jada Nicole Alston, John Frederick Ames, Mark Youssef Amin, Christian Lee Andrews, David Matthew Andrews, Brian Daniel Angel, Basma Nathan Paul Rasha and Gao, Garrett Wallace Archibek, Emery Renee Armstrong, Lindsay McDade Arnold, Shane Michael Athey Strayer, Nathaniel M. Baird, Lisette Monique Barbosa, Jordan Blair Barnes, Daniel Dean Bazianos, Catherine Leah Becker Mowry, Sarah Nicole Bender, Jayla Asani Renee Bennett, Kyla Isabel Berkshire, Alejandra Bernal, Colleen Mackenzie Berry, Regina Rose Bonamonte, Sophia Holland Borges, Evan Nicholas Bott, Molly Claire Bowman, Graham Patrick Boyle, Matthew Branch Boyle, Darian Casey Bradley, John Decker Bristow Jr., Omadula Bromond, Angelina Lee Brooks, Charlotte Hilliard Browder, Adam M. Brown, Lloyd Henry Brown, Logan Alexandra Brown, Mick J. Briner, Davis Peyton Buckby, Caden Thomas Burton, Nolan Riley Burton, Christian Graydon Campbell IV, Emily Elizabeth Carter, Eleanor Elizabeth Carey, Carolyn Grace Carter, Patrick Seth Casey, John Joseph Casolaro, Kevin D. Castro, Miranda Lynn Castro, Marissa Lynn Castro, Nicholas Austin Cavallo, Kelsey Thais Saros, Ian W. Chandler, Louis Jackson Chandler, Leo Zhang Chen, Catherine Jordan Chucker, Richard Easton Chucker, Constance Carrington Clark, William Luther Coker IV, Isabella Lucia Colangelo. Jacob Corey Cole. Daisy Maria Colgan. Campbell Everett Colette. Penelope Langhorn Coletti. Alexis Ann Cool. Alexandra Logan Cornwell. Curry Davis Costin. Mary Olivia Colburn. Edwin Carr Cox. Isabel Dean Crenshaw. Jose Antonio Cruz. Luis Alejandro Cruz. Sophia Kubahiro. Kendall M. Dalton. Elizabeth Sage Danforth. Samantha Olivia Davis. Emily De La Rosa. Priscilla De La Rosa. Adam William De Guzman. Martha Selena Delgado. James William Dickerson. Cole Justin Dyers. Matthew Raymond Donaldson. Henry Presson Donovan. Ibrahim Donzo. Samuel Harper Dornick. William Lloyd Dornick. Kendrick Allen Dorset Jr. Amanda V. Duty Ogutu. Corey Lamont Dupree Jr. Caleb Francis Dupre. Joshua William Dupuy. Anna Mackenzie Durham. John Seth Cooper Dyson. Skyla Ray Dyson. Numo Jamjic. Christiana Abra Jancy. Sarah Burks Eccles. Alexandra Nell Eddy. Anastasia Eleni Edwards. Gavin Bryant Edwards. William Thomas Edwards. Zacharias Nicholas Edwards. Sarah El Mahmoudi. Dylan August Elias. Nicholas Stephen Erickson. Irene Gabriela Arita Escalante. Deontrell Dominic Evans. Emily Bricken Evans. Deja Andrea Everett. Alexander Carol Izell. Miles Chetwynd Fagan. Miles Carol Fallen. Paul Joseph Farley. Anna Elena Felton. Caroline Meredith Ferguson. Alexis Brianna Fields. Piper Gwen Finkelson. Pace Mahud Fonville III. Grace Ellen Forrester. Andrew Jared Fuller. Carlos Alberto Garcia. Stephanie Flores Garcia. Mia Lee Garland. Sarah Catherine Gentry. Sandra Mando Nassif Gabriel. Samantha Rose Gibson. Connor Martin Giles. Mackenzie Burke Gilson. Alexandra Marie Gilstrap. Carson Ann Gervin. Clay Hardy Given. Colin McRae Godwin. Sophia May Golden. Daisy Gonzalez. Felicia Alexis Good. Darius Kayvon Trinity Gore. Addison Virginia Gorenflow. Daniel Antonio Granados. Holland Howard Gravely. Robert Matthew Gravitt. James Davis Green. Cameron Montrell Clyde Green. Hardy Thomas Green. Sterling Maxwell Gregory. Ashley Hannah Griffith. Nyla Marie Groholski. Courtney L. Gunter. James Grayson Gunter. Ellie Blue R. Gherkin. Melissa Gutierrez. Ahmad Zubir Hadaf. Joseph Addison Hagan. Julia Dara Hall. Cynthia Mary Hallen. Ruth Ellen Hamby. William Michael Harden. Marshall Scott Harless. Terrence Ashford Harris. Charlotte Emmeline Hart. Laura Olivia Hayes. Meredith Powell Hearn. Cole Matthew Hellier. Jamari Malik Henley. Jamani Amir Henley. Kiana LaShawn Henley. Kristen Lorraine Herman. Myra Dianellis Hernandez. Zenib Rima Halal. Oliver Creighton Height. Leslie Clarence Holloway III. Lindsay Parrish Hollowell. Harrison Barr Holmes. Joseph Cole Holtz. Jada Marie Howell. Tegan Shea Howell. Peter Robert Hughes. Muhab Abdelhalim Idris. Ravan Baksh Inayat Khan. Roxana Yadira Irahita Gressing. Jayla Ashanti Jackson. Caleb Robert Jacoby. Bless Ja. Sinclair Elizabeth Jenks. Audrey Renee Jervy. Clifford Woolard Johnson. Emma Catherine Johnson. TJ Maria Johnson. Grace Elizabeth Jones. Emma Grace Wanda Jordan. Tyriel Marie Jordan. Annalise Fritz Coleman. Balaj Karoy Kazala. Susma Kotwal. Awut Donato Kawaj. Salar Khan. Azim Sultan Ladani. Jonathan Moncure Lafoon. Nicholas Hunter Lamb.
Brian Thomas LaRosa. Thomas Conrad Lachlan. Raquel Elena Layton. Koa Win Lee. Benjamin Whitmore Lee. Eugene Lee. Marcus Lee Lewis. Michael Jacob Liberator. Chewan Lim. Hunter Davis Locker. Jason Alexander Lopez Arevalo. Tristan Corbett Lowry. Alex Favio Lozano Tinoco. Maggie H. Liu. Mindy Nu Nok Liu. Eldina Mamudovic. Melinda Maldonado. Connor James Maloney. Liam Oliver Mancuso Palma. Thomas Anthony Manning, Damian Michael Xavier Marcy, Hayden Michael Martin, Liam Kenneth Martin, Pierce Lambert Martin, Tracy Lynn Martin, Julia Elizabeth Martinez, Elvis Alexander Martinez Bruno, Irina N. Martinez Bruno, Megan Elizabeth Mason, Christian Stewart Massengill, Alfredo Enrique Mata Rincon, Maria Jose Mata Rincon, Hubert Mateus, Ian Matheson Mayers, Matthew David Mays, Colleen Elizabeth McBride, Abigail Matilda McCormick, Megan Elizabeth McDonald, Tatum Rose McFarlane, Thomas Brannon McKeon, Jaya Alexander McKinley, Kotaro Sidney Meltzer, Lawrence Robert Mensa, Matthew Paul Matinko, Robert Francis Michelizzi, Shane A. Michelle, Matthew Rajiv Mickey, Jayla Michelle Mickey, Aiden Michael Milby, Madeline Claire Miller, Brantley Marie Mills, Stanley Maurice Minor Jr., Catherine Monroe Moffett, Yaya Moharam, Andy Gabrielle Molina Reyes, James Bryden Molinauer, Angel Manuel Montoya Herrera, Adriana Morgan Moore, Blake Anderson Moore, Gabrielle A. Moore, Nequan Andrew Moore, Luis Axel Moreno, Christopher Darnell Morgan, Adam Alea Morcus, Carolyn Ibrahim Morcus, Brian D. Morton, Marilyn Clarissa Moscoso, Sarah Ann Motley, Olivia Ann Moem, Zoe Marie Mowery, Sally Sackett Mumford, Brian Alexander Munoz, Mackenzie Elizabeth Myers, Thomas A. Nardi, Gretchen Elizabeth Neary, Elizabeth Christine Neely, Francis N. Nelson, Caitlin Teresa Newbold, Caitlin Wynn, Sarah Caroline Nicoletti, Shaheem Anthony Nolan, Justin Adem Ntumi, Hill David Nystrom, John David Oley, Seth A. Olmsted, Zachary Ritt Pack, Kyle A.J. Pappas, Madison Elizabeth Pate, Caroline Carter Payne, Rylan Quinn Pearsall, Edward Sebastian Peebles, Dante Stephen Pillay, Camilla Eugenia Perez Rondon, Sky Michaela Perks, Cameron Gary Peterson, Samuel Bennett Phillips, Virginia Quinn Phillips, Zaki Nazim Pinkney, Lucy Kate Gray Potter, Anna Elizabeth Powell, Alika Pradhan, Alicia Pradhan, Samuel David Puckett, Roger Thomas Ragland, Tazim Rahman, Floriselda Ane Ramos, Marcus Nathaniel Rand, Carly Olivia Reed, James William Reed III, Jacob Lyndon Renner, Emily Grace Rice, Shane Edward Richnowski, Juliana Grace Ringrose, Dane Ross Ripoll, Jonae Michaela Robertson, Susanna C. Robertson, Madeline G. Rover, James Michael Rogers, Sadie Elizabeth Rogerson, Kenan Sabanovic, Prapichaya Saket, Sabra Sala, Alexander K. Sam, Aiden Tog Sangare, Ethan Manley Sanzone, Travis Wayne Saunders, Cash Del Rico Sales, Joseph Solomon Levi Schlossberg, Elena Caitlin Sears, Babakar Sek, Amina Salimovich, Landon Jack Shears, Maggie Clay Sheeran, Madison Claire Sherman, Joseph Anthony Shibley Jr., Damian Kent Schultz, Alec Gray Sigmund, Safet Saruchich, Elizabeth Grace Chavold, Hannah Christina Chavold, Jada Varaya Smith, Cameron Sarah Smith, Lowell Vincent Smith III, Matthew Burton Smith, David Clay Sneed, Connor Jefferson Spidell, James David Spencer, Walker Grace Spradlin, Aaron Tirith Sring, Morgan Alexander Stanley, Ann Bedford Stevens, James Scott Stevens, Neilani Ariana Stevenson, Amaris Hava Stewart, Sebastian Suarez Vasquez, Christopher Thomas Sullivan, Antonio Delvon Sunkins Jr., Ashwin Suresh, Russell Alexander Schwartz, Abigail H. Taylor, Autumn Denise Taylor, Emily Sophia Taylor, Jasmine Rain Taylor, Harrison Alexander Turpak, Destiny Michelle Terry, Connor Reed Thomas, Cole B. Thomason, Elizabeth Macy Thompson, Tymarcus Daquan Thompson, Rachel Elizabeth Thornton, Allison Jane Tigner, Sarah Michelle Tomlinson, Unique Kamai Touch, Michael Wynn Tran, Samuel Preston Trevi Jr., Gabriel Rocco Tufaro, William Robert Turpin, Caroline Noel Tyler, Ariel Uloa Mendoza, Stephen Banta Ulrichs, Roel F. Vale, James Henry Van Ness VI, Angelica Uraldi Vasquez, Andrew A. Vu, Isabel Adrian Waldron, Nicholas D. Walker, Matthew Riordan Walls, George Wanis Labib Wanis, Mary Elizabeth Witt Warner, Anthony L. Wash, Diamond Lashana Washington, Lawrence Ashton Welk, Richmond Alexander Welk, Hannah Nicole Wilkins, Claire Peary Willett, Anna Mae Williams, Elizabeth Frances Williams, Catherine E. Wilson, Maximilian J. Woltz, Tucker Russell Woodard, Sarah Elizabeth Woodhouse, Hunter Lee Wright, Victoria Ava Wright, William Stewart Wright, Kamaluddin Yahaya, Mina Ashraf Yani, Natalia Zabrovska, Michael Jared Zed, Leolia K. Marie Z, Miriam Zitter, Abigail Jeanette Zorn.
Graduates, congratulations. You are poised for great things, and we're so excited to see how you will impact the world, just as you have made your mark on Freeman High School. It is our hope that you use your many talents in service to others, and that the world is made better by your contributions. No matter where your journey takes you, know that you are forever a part of the Freeman family, and we are behind you. Thank you, congratulations, and good luck. That journey commences right now. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in congratulating the 2020 graduates of Douglas South Hall Freeman High School. Graduates, wherever you are, now is the moment to toss your hat in the air and celebrate.